Hey folks, it's Dr. Bryce Lee with StrengthSpace, and I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of how we do this isometric crunch exercise in a way that makes sure we're not stressing the linea alba of your abdominal muscles, not stressing and causing any separation of the abdominal muscles. The thing we're looking for in this exercise is a low back that is flat into the floor, not arched like that. There should be no daylight underneath my low back. And the reason we want to avoid that is because that elongates the abdominals, and that could cause them to try to deviate out to the side when they contract. We don't want that. We want to tuck our tail, and we accomplish that two ways. One, I try to roll my hips backwards. You see how here my belt rolls forward. I want to reverse that, roll backwards, almost lifting my backside off the floor just a millimeter by pushing my heels into the ground just a little bit. Now I feel my low back nice and flattened into the floor. That's step one. And then step two is when I crunch from the top down, I'm not trying to lift my whole body off the floor, just my shoulder blades. So now my glutes are engaged and lifting my bottom off the floor, my shoulder blades are off the floor. This is the position that we would hold isometrically to produce fatigue in our abdominal muscles, but to do so in a way where the muscles are as shortened as they can get, and so therefore they're not likely to spread apart because they're very, very short. So I just hold this position for time, aiming for about 90 seconds to 2 minutes. If this is a little too difficult, I can bring my hands down here. That makes things a little easier because it shifts some of my mass closer to my hips. If I shift mass further away from my hips by putting my hands here or here to support my neck, or even here to be more advanced, all of those things increase the difficulty by moving weight upwards. Either way, I want to pick a variation that I can hold for about 1.5 minutes. If I can barely hold it for a minute, it might be too difficult. I might want to adjust it downwards a little bit by putting my hands down here. And if my neck gets fatigued, if you're a person whose neck fatigues easily, then you might use your hands to lightly support the back of your head so that your neck isn't getting exhausted. If you can't do any variation where you last 1.5 minutes, that's okay. You can just rest and then do a few efforts to try to add up to a total of 90 seconds of work or time under tension, and that'll be productive for you. And then once this version becomes too easy, then you can progress to arms across shoulders. Once that version is too easy, you can progress to here or to there. And you can see that that's causing me to shake because it's pretty difficult. So it's a pretty accessible movement that can be modified for your ability level. In each case, keep the low back flat against the floor and just work to fatigue those muscles by holding still. Great, enjoy that.